Whole sports all plays. Yeah. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics never the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, they working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. Whole sports all plays.
Good morning. It's Friday. Welcome to Around the Bases here this Friday morning. Hope everybody's having a great morning. Joined today by Jay McLovin. How's it going, Jay?
Hey, we're doing good, man. You know, coming off that win last night, I mean, how could you not be doing well? It's a little cold outside, but other than that, man, what a time to be alive.
Yeah, it is a little cold outside. That is for sure.
I imagine
if you're saying it's cold, because you're in Georgia, so if you're saying it's cold, I know it's cold outside because it's cold. It means it's colder here.
Oh God, yes, man. God, yes. You know, and the thing about it is, so tomorrow kicks off. Was it game 3? No, game 4. Game 4 in New York, and you know that. Hey, look, unlike Houston,
you're right.
They don't got a roof there.
No, you're right, Jay. Game 3.
Was it game 3?
Yeah.
No, it's game 4 because we're up to. Yeah, you're right. Game 3. Damn. Man, my mind tends to wander sometimes. But yeah, hey, either way, game 3, it's going to be, you got to know it's going to be cold. They have no roof. I just kind of wonder how Houston's going to play in the cold weather because if you ain't noticed it, Houston's mostly tropical type people.
I was going to ask you that too about the cold, but no, Yankees are out to a quick 2-0 lead in the series. Astros are out to a quick 2-0 lead in the series. Both games have been close. Yesterday's game, you guys got a quick home run by Bregman and then didn't get anything else, but that was all you guys needed. You just needed those 3 runs.
Man, so, I'm telling you.
How do you think the series is going to look shifting to New York now? I mean, to me, I picked the Yankees to win the World Series at the beginning of the season, and you know me, I'm going to stick with my pick, even though I think the Yankees are in trouble right now. I'll admit that. They have to win this next game. To me, it's a must-win game. You can't go down 3-0. You mentioned the weather. That could be a factor. What are you expecting going in now the series shifts to New York for 3 games?
Yeah, right, exactly. The game will probably start around, I think it's 5. It's going to be a 5 o'clock game time. So the temperature for Saturday starts out at 46 and a high of 67. So it'll probably be in the early to mid 60s, probably by 5 o'clock. And of course, then it'll shift down probably it'll probably get closer to the 40s or actually 50s by 9 when the game should be over. So I think the Astros honestly will have it okay in game 1. I think, the 60s, they can play in the 60s. I mean, come on. They're not that bad.
Perfect. 60s is about perfect weather, really.
Yeah, so I don't think the weather, like I thought initially, it's not going to, and it's going to be sunny too.
Well, so depending on the wind. But
well, that's true. Depending on the wind, you're right. But it is going to be a sunny day. So they want to, so they'll have the sun to kind of keep them a little bit warm, which is good. But yeah, it's looking like 1 mile an hour wind right now is out there in New York. So I don't know how much more it looks like 10 mile visible. So it should be a clear day, sunny day. So it should be okay for baseball. It's going to be perfect for baseball weather. So I don't think the weather necessarily affects the Astros. It's just going to be, coming off that flight, being back in New York. But, we've won in New York before. We all know that. Hell, we put a damn no-no on them in New York. So I'm not really too worried about playing in New York because we split the series in New York. And the 2 games that we did lose were extremely close. Matter of fact, one was a walk-off in the 9th by New York. And the one was a walk-off I think in 10th or 11th in extra innings in New York. So we've proven we can hang with these guys. And we all know playoff baseball is a little bit rougher. The only question I got for the Astros and that I'm kind of nervous about is Altuve right now. He has not gotten into his groove yet. He has been struggling at the plate. So he is the one spot on the lineup that kind of worries me right now because I'm just hoping he can bounce back and find his groove in New York. But honestly, I think it's either going to be McCullers or Javier that gets the call that's going to go up against Garrett Cole. And we know what Garrett Cole brings to the plate, man. He played for Houston. We all, and that's the thing. Houston is familiar with Garrett Cole, so it's not like he's an anomaly. But I'll tell you this, man. I expect a close series in New York, and you're right. Right now we're up 2-0, and quite honestly, I felt like, right now it's probably 60% over for New York, and I think that the advantage is going in Houston's favor. I got to be honest with you, Gonzo. Right now, I've told you this. I'm going to say it again. Their bullpen is garbage, and Frankie will tell you. Back in the day, he would say it was garbage. Now he'll tell you that no, we're playing okay, but he knows deep down in his heart that the Yankees bullpen is garbage. And I said it before, if we can stay with Cole and hang with Cole defensively in the game to get Cole into or out of the game and get into that bullpen with either a 1-run down, even, or 1-run up, Houston's going to come away with that win. Our bullpen's is better than theirs. We're deeper than them, and I think they can make adjustments. And I think that if we get into that bullpen in Game 3, it's going to be over for New York. I said that, and I think we've seen that each and every game that they've ever played against New York, and we certainly saw that in Seattle. So that's my thought process on that. I think you're muted, Gonzo.
I needed to check the sound, my bad. But no, I think the key for you guys for the Astros against Garrett Cole Saturday is going to be jump on him early. If he after sometimes he struggles in that first 2 innings, but once he settles in, kind of like Verlander, you want to jump on Verlander early, because if not, around the 3rd inning, he usually gets settled in, and then it's tough sledding the rest of the game. And Cole can be like that too. He first couple innings he can be a little rocky, then he can get settled in and be tough. So I think the key for you guys is to try to jump on Cole early, especially early in the game and early in the counts, because the more pitches he throws, then you're going to get to the bullpen quicker. But yeah, the Yankees have to get their bats going, or they're going to be in trouble. They haven't been able to get their bats going against the Houston pitching, and if they can't hit the ball at home, this could be a quick series.
Yeah, absolutely. And keep in mind that, it's like I said, it's either going to be McCullers or it's going to be Javier that gets that Game 3 call. But when it comes to Game 4, guess who's coming up the pike? Yeah, Verlander, baby. Verlander going to be back Game 4, because Verlander does not like to go more than 4 days of rest. He only wants 4 days of rest, and then he expects to be back on the mound. And if you've watched his whole career this year, he's never gone more than 4 days worth of rest. Matter of fact, they were going to have him pitch on 5 days, and he said, hell no. And he forced Dusty to put him at that 4th game. So there's no way in hell Javier or McCullers, depending on who doesn't pitch Game 3, is going to be pitching Game 4. That ain't going to happen. You're going to see you're going to see Justin Verlander Game 4. And I promise you will see the dominant Justin Verlander that we've seen the whole Cy Young, because he pitches so much better when he just has a short time frame in between starts, rather than when he had the week at the ALCS and the ALDS. So expect to see vintage Verlander. And I'm telling you, I swear to God, if they don't get Game 3, that series is over. It's done. It's cooked. And Frankie going to be sitting on the couch right there with Jonathan Mathis and Mike Hughes and anybody else that wants to give the Astros a bunch of garbage. They'll all be sitting on the couch, and this team, baby, is still going to be playing. How about them apples?
Yeah, and Verlander didn't pitch. He struggled in the first series, that first game pitch, but he didn't pitch bad the first game against the Yankees. Though
I don't think he pitched bad either game, but by most starting pitchers' standards, he did. But by Verlander standards, he did, because that's just not typically Verlander, man. That changeup, that slider that he uses to complement his fastball, it's just stupid. It really is just stupid. And let's give some credit to Neris and what's the other pitcher they used? Abreu last night, man. I'm telling you, man, that bullpen, no matter who they put out there on you, man, is just incredible. And think about this, man. Honestly, you got 3 starting pitchers that can be used in your bullpen at any given moment. And that's what I was trying to say, Gonzo. Now, it is harder, I think, sometimes for starters to get in that relief role because it is a different animal for them. But, I think they all three can do it. And I think we can go deep in games, and that's a problem with the Yankees. If we get into a defensive game, how long do you think they can honestly go? How many innings do you think they can put up? Do you think they could put up 18 innings like Seattle did? I don't think so. I think they give you maybe 12, 13, and then they're done. And I don't even think they go 13. In my honest opinion, I think around 12, late 11 or 12, depending on how many pitches they do in those innings. I think they're toasted. And I think they have to get back into that starting rotation to finish out the game, and that is going to be really difficult for them.
Yeah, and that's why I thought that if the Guardians would have made it, that would have been an interesting matchup with the Astros because of the Guardians bullpen, because the Guardians have a real strong bullpen as well. So that would have been, I think that would have been an interesting matchup between the Astros and Guardians because of their bullpen and the closer they have. But of course,
that's exactly what my point. I told Frankie, and I've been telling everybody, I said, give me the Yankees. I need the Yankees. I'm begging for the Yankees because I did not want to go against Cleveland. If you go back and look at the regular season and how Houston played Cleveland, that wasn't pretty. We lost a lot more games than we won. And I did not want to face Terry Francona in that Cleveland lineup. I was like, give me anything but that damn Guardians. And the only one that honestly really I think will give us fits right now of active teams outside of if we get to the World Series, which I do think we will, but it's going to be the Padres. The Padres, that's a scrappy team. They got great pitching, they got great hitting, and that's a team that can hang with the Stros, I believe, man. And that's going to be a really, really good World Series. And again, they have Juan Soto, man. And I hate Juan Soto because I have definitely bad nightmares of Juan Soto with the Washington Nationals when the Houston had to face them in the World Series. And that dude was an Astros killer in the World Series. So I definitely really don't want to see the Padres in the World Series, but I have a feeling that's the way it's going to wind up.
Yeah, and Hader's starting to pitch like the Hader of old in that closing role again. So that even makes the Padres a little more dangerous than what they were in the regular season. But Andre says, Jay, you are getting the ring.
Hey, I got to be honest with you, man. I feel more confident this go around getting to the World Series than I have any other one. Even including the 2017, which we know what everybody thought about that particular series. But honestly, man, this team, the way it's constructed right now, the depth that we have at positional players, the depth that we have at the bullpen, the depth that we have at the starting rotation, we're just so damn deep that Dusty has 1,000,001 choices, and some people might think that's a bad thing. I think Dusty looks at it as a good thing. And let's not forget, Dusty, that's a good manager, man. Hey, he knows how to keep players in games. He knows how to talk to them. He knows they have a good rapport. Everybody has good rapports last night. And the Astros' confidence right now is extremely, extremely high. And their momentum is off the damn charts. You got to realize right now they're 5-0. In the playoffs. They haven't lost yet in the playoffs. Just let that sink in for a minute. We haven't lost yet in the playoffs. So just, think about that going into this World Series. When a team is riding momentum and they have depth and they have confidence, I can't think of anything scarier than that to go up against, honestly.
I like watching Dusty Baker during the games because he's so superstitious, and he'll be in one side of the dugout. Then all of a sudden you'll see him over here this quarter, and if something goes good, he won't leave that spot. Then he's fun to watch. I used to watch him when he was.
But baseball's built on that. Baseball's built on superstition and routine. Everything is a routine. Everything is superstition. I mean, it's crazy. And again, man, hey, Soto, man, hey, he did really good against the Nationals. Now, he hasn't really done as much right now against the Phillies or even the previous one. I mean, he's been kind of quiet. He's got a hit here and there, but he hasn't been that vintage Juan Soto that we saw with the Nationals. But we haven't got to the World Series either. So, when we get to the World Series, we're going to find out exactly what Soto will bring. I'm just really glad we didn't have to deal with Tatis this year, and because I think that would have just been a nightmare.
Yeah, Man, the Padres have a scary lineup as it is right now, and you add Tatis to that lineup. But yeah, that's a scary order to try to get through.
And the thing about it is too, though, Gonzo, is the Astros historically, they don't chase balls. They usually wait for the right pitches to hit. If you look at the Astros, they're an extremely well-disciplined team. They don't strike out a whole lot. And I tell you, that's the key for them, because if you look at Severino, he went, 5.1 innings last night. If you look at Taillon, he went 4.1, 4.2 game one. So quite honestly, we've been in their bullpen right around the late fourth, early or mid fifth inning on. And I think if they take Garrett Cole and they don't chase as much as him and they put him into early or late pitch counts, early innings, again, I think that's the secret for the Astros. And watch that to be an issue for whoever they face in the World Series. The fact that they don't chase, if we get into those bullpens, I'm telling you, that's where Houston is dangerous. Is once we get into your bullpen.
No. But speaking of the Padres and Phillies, let's talk about that real quick. Also, they played tonight, game 3. That series is 1-1 right now. Phillies got the game 1 and jumped out on them game 2, but Padres came right back, storming right back, and took game 2. So it's 1-1. Now they're going to now they're in Philly for 3 games. How you see this series going here now they're back in Philly?
Yeah. I know Philly sports guy is glad to have them back home. I'm pretty sure he was riding the rails. He was really, really confident, Philly sports guy in the bar, when he was doing his little TikTok or whatever video he was making, the watch along that he was doing. He was real confident early on until about that 5th inning when the Padres came alive and put those 5 runs up on him. And then I don't think he obviously was still doing it, but he wasn't quite as confident as that. But I'll say this, man, look, one thing about, like I said, the Padres is they're scrappy. Jesus Christ, they're like the Astros. The Astros, even if you get a lead on the Astros, you're not ever safe. And I think you saw in Seattle, you're not ever safe. Padres are the same way. You can get runs up on the Padres, and you're not safe. If you look at that game, the game 2, when the Padres, even the series up at 1 apiece, that the Padres went down 4-0 in the bottom of the 2nd, and then the Padres come right back and put 2 runs up on him and cut that lead in half to 4-2. And then when the 5th inning came around, they just blew it open. I mean, back-to-back home runs in the 5th. So I never count the Padres out, man. That's a scrappy team, and they're not going to give up. And that's why I think, my God, if we see an Astros-Phillies game, it's going to be a lot of defense, a lot of scrappiness, and it's going to be tight. And I mean, it's going to be tight if we play them.
Yeah, Rio, on the mound tonight for the Padres is going to be Musgrove. For the Phillies, it's going to be Ranger Suarez. So pitching-wise, the Padres have the advantage tonight in tonight's matchup because Phillies have used their best 2 pitchers in Willer and Nola. So for tonight, you'll have Suarez, who he's not a terrible pitcher. Don't get me wrong. He's pitched decent in the playoffs. He has kept him in some games in his starts and everything. But I would give Musgrove the advantage in this game.
Yeah, man. Jesus, Musgrove is just – he's a nasty little pitcher, man. I mean, when he's feeling that rhythm, he's feeling that groove. I mean, that guy is just nasty, man. And he's riding a major confidence ride as well. So I really think the Phillies are going to have their hands full tonight. And again, man, it's going to be hard. Suarez, like you said, man, Suarez pitched good in the previous series, but this wasn't the Padres.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, man, this Padres, geez, I wouldn't want to face them if I was Suarez, but he's gonna face them. But I do give the pitching advantage to the Padres, and I give the hitting to the Padres. I know Bryce Harper is playing well. I know that Schwarber, that's his name. I know Schwarber is doing okay. But man, I'm telling you, man, hey, this Padres, they're just loaded.
Castellanos has started to heat up for the Phillies as well.
Former Cub, right? Castellanos?
Yeah, he's a former Cub and a former Red.
Yeah, geez. Yeah, Castellanos went 1 for 4 in that game for Philly. I mean, they had okay hitting. I mean, like I said, Harper gave you 2 for 4. But Schwarber, he gave you an RBI on a walk, but that was about it.
He didn't get going in that second game.
And look out for a bomb. And I hope I'm saying his name right, Bohm. That guy can get going too. So I think he's another guy. And Hoskins, I think Hoskins has been really, really. Matter of fact, I think Hoskins was the one that when he hit the home run, I think it was game 1 when he hit the home run in game 1, and then he spiked the bat. Hey, I'm just saying, hey, those kinds of things can get your team rallied up real quick and in a hurry. So look out for him.
I know a lot of your older baseball fans, they don't like when they do the bat flip or they spike the bat, or they don't like when players show emotion like that. But dude, if I hit a ball 400 and something feet, if I want to flip my bat, I'm going to flip my damn bat. You know what I mean?
Hey, you know what they say, Gonzo? If you don't like it, don't let them hit it.
Yeah, I mean, but
if you don't like it, don't let them hit it.
You know what I mean? What's it hurting? It ain't hurting nothing. That's what fans like seeing that stuff. So it helps baseball more than it would ever hurt baseball, in my opinion.
You know what, Gonzo? Do you know what the hidden gem, in my opinion, was on that Juan Soto trade? What really was the true value, more than Juan Soto himself, was Josh Bell.
Yep.
Bell is where, in my opinion, yeah, Juan Soto is a great player. Don't get me wrong. But where I think the Padres won that trade wasn't in Juan Soto. It was in Josh Bell. Because if you look at what Bell did in game 2, he went 3 for 4. I mean, he gave you quality at bats.
He had a home run too, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. And then, like I said, if you look at Machado, Machado's hitting the ball really well. He went 3 for 5. Profar gave you. I mean, there was a lot of hits all the way through that damn lineup. And I thought it was kind of interesting where we saw the Nola brothers go at it. That's like a historical mark. And there's never been a pitcher hitter, where their brothers going at it, in the playoffs. So congratulations to the Nola brothers for making history. But
could you imagine
I think Josh Bell.
Could you imagine being their parents? It'd be crazy, you know what I mean? Because
if you're a parents like that, you just got to stay neutral. You just root for the kids, but yeah, that's a hard or I guess dad wears one brother's jersey and the mom wears the other brother's jersey. I don't know. I mean, it's crazy. That would be a good situation. I would love for both my sons to be playing in the playoffs. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, just to have 2 kids playing in Major League Baseball. I mean, that's pretty damn amazing in itself, let alone both of them being in the having a chance to go to the World Series. But it would suck though because one of them is going and one of them isn't. So it's like,
oh yeah, no doubt about it.
One of our sons gonna be happy as hell. The other one's gonna be heartbroken. It's like,
he might be heartbroken, but you know what?
Hey, he's still making money.
Hey, you know what? He might be a little heartbroken, but damn, he's still making good money, and he still was in the playoffs, and that's not something that everybody gets to do. So he'll be all right. But I'll tell you this. Hey, let this sink in. One more stat on Josh Bell. He's got 375 batting average right now in the playoffs, highest on the team. And we don't think that he wasn't the best part of that damn trade. What a time to be alive for the Padres. Hey, that was a hell of a good trade, honestly. And I can't believe.
The moves
I still can't believe that the Nationals gave up Bell.
Yeah, the moves they made the trade deadline, them 2 moves, and then getting Hader as well.
Yeah, and I think the thing with Hader was, I just think it was more of him getting readjusted to a new situation. Sometimes that can affect a pitcher. Like I said, superstitions, routines. You go to a new team and you only got a small amount of time to get your stuff in order. I think now you're seeing Hader settling in, getting adjusted to his team, and now he's going back to where, the quality of pitching that he was doing in Milwaukee. Now we're seeing that in San Diego. That's all I think that was.
Yeah. Well, he struggled a little bit there in Milwaukee. That's why they got rid of him. I think they jumped the gun. I think he was just sometimes you get in a little rut like that and you got to work yourself out of it. And I think they thought he was done, and he's showing now.
Is Josh Hader in the playoffs? I guess he's not done, huh? What a time to be alive. Damn it, what a time to be alive.
But you see teams do that. Either they hold on to a player too long, or they move away from him too early. You see it happen a lot. Not just with the Brewers. You see it happen all over in all sports, not just baseball.
Yeah, Andre Cruz says if only we had Tatis. You know what? I agree, Andre. And I hope I'm saying your name correctly. It would be nice if you had Tatis. Don't get me wrong, it'd be nice. But you know what? Understand this too. Sometimes teams can gel without their main star, and sometimes they can be just as dangerous. And sometimes having Tatis might throw that chemistry off right now because right now the Padres are clicking offensively. They're clicking defensively. They're clicking in the pitching. So careful what you wish for because right now your team is gelled. They're playing well. And even though you don't have a Tatis right now, you don't have to have stars 1 through 9. You can just have, a lot of really good players. As long as you can make contact with the ball and get on base, that's all that really matters in baseball. I'm telling you, you don't have to have. And I think the Tampa Bay Devil Rays, when they won that World Series, as well as the Marlins, when they won their World Series, they had one of the lowest payrolls out there, but yet they took down the Behemoths. So just because you don't have all the stars doesn't mean that your team isn't going to be just as dangerous, maybe even more dangerous. So just keep that in mind. You don't need Tatis right now. Honestly, you don't. You're doing fine with the lineup that you have.
Well, I mean, look, we saw that last year. Look what happened to the Braves. They lost Acuna, and then all of a sudden they took off.
Yeah. All you need is momentum, man.
Yeah.
Momentum and good pitching or solid pitching, and you can ride the wave, man. You can ride it. Hell, look at the damn Dodgers. Where the hell they got Mookie Betts and all them guys? Where the hell the Dodgers? They're over there on the damn couch.
Well, look at the Phillies. Phillies are a perfect example. Look, they got hot at the right time, and look where they're at now.
Man, hey, I'm telling you, man, that whole momentum thing, that's true, man, especially in baseball. If you're on that momentum, and if a team has confidence like that, I mean, honestly, the sky's the limit for teams like that. I think Boone, if he wants to get to the playoffs too, I wanted to talk about that for a second. His choices in pitchers or choices in relief pitchers has not been as good as what it should have been. He should have brought in Castro rather than Schmidt. Schmidt, in my opinion, is just a weak pitcher. And I think we saw that with the 2 home runs that he gave up. And then he brought in Montas. Of course, Montas gave up the home. I really think he's got a lot of really good pitchers on his staff. And I think he used the wrong ones at the wrong time. And then sometimes I think he leaves his pitchers in too long. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. I just kind of question Boone's play. And let me say this real quick. The reason why I really wanted the Astros to win, not just because they're my team, but I really want to see Dusty Baker finally get that World Series. I mean, this guy's been around for a long, long time. I think he was also wasn't he coach on your Reds there for a little bit?
Yeah.
If I'm thinking correctly. I mean, you guys had Dusty too, and he's been in several postseasons. I mean, the guy's got 45 playoff games under his belt. He's been to the World Series. He just hasn't come away with the win. And the guy's old, and he's going to have to retire eventually. So I'd like to see him go out with a bang. I'd like to see him get a World Series before he calls it a career because I just think he absolutely he plays the game the right way. He does all the right things, and I just like to see him get a World Series.
He didn't get one with the Giants?
I think he got one as a. I don't think it wasn't a head coach. Was it a play? He doesn't have a World Series as a head coach. I know that.
Okay. So I thought
he might have another capacity, but not as a head coach.
I thought he got one when he was with the San Francisco Giants.
Let me double tap that
Barry Bonds.
and fact check me on that, but I'm pretty sure he does not have a ring.
I think you're probably right. No, I know he has one as a player, but I'm not sure as a coach.
Yeah, he is the 9th manager to win pennants in both the American and National League, leading the Giants to a World Series appearance in 2002 and one with the Astros in 2021. That was the only 2 World Series, but he never got one though.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. For some reason, I thought they had won one with them, but yeah, I knew he had one as a player, but yeah, not as a manager yet. That's pretty remarkable because he's been with the Giants, the Cubs, the Reds. Yeah, he's been with quite a few people.
And again, I mean, and everywhere he's gone, though, everywhere Dusty has gone, he has had success. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? To some degree. And again, has he won the World Series? No, but he has had success. In 24 seasons, he's had a lot of success. And I just want to see him get a World Series as a manager before he calls it a day.
Yeah, I'd like to see him get one too. I like Dusty. I just saw a stat: the Yankees are 4-6 in the playoffs when trailing 2-0. When down 2-0 in the series, or in the ALCS are 4-6 when down 2-0. So that's a stat that bodes in your favor, Jay. But let me ask you a question real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
I know this team is out, but I haven't had a chance to talk to you about it real quick. The Guardians and Yankees, their last game. Why do you think Francona made a mistake by not starting Bieber on short rest?
I do.
Why start Savali? I think starting Savali is what cost him that game.
No, it did.
Even if you didn't want to start Bieber, I'd rather him do a bullpen game than start Savali. And
when your back's, I always say this: when your back's against the wall, you got to pull out all the stops.
Put your best arm on the mound.
When your back is at the brink of elimination, you put your best guys out there and hey, let them go for as many innings as they can give you, and then go to your bullpen or your starters, whatever the case may be. But always lead off with your best when you're against the wall.
I didn't understand it because Cortez was going to be on the same amount of rest. They'd both been on the same amount of rest because they pitched against each other in game 2. So they'd been on the same amount of rest. I didn't understand why you didn't come back with Bieber, and people said, "Oh, he was saving them for the next round." There is no next round if you don't win that game. So you can't.
Yeah, is there a next round for them right now?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can't. You know what I mean? You can't worry about saving a pitcher. You got to worry about
how many months of rest do you think Bieber's going to get now? What a time to be alive!
I didn't understand it. I was like,
look, winners are going to always win. Winners always want the ball. And the fact you didn't put your best guy on the mound when your back is at the wall just tells me, Francona, I love you, man. You did good out there in Boston, but you really screwed the pooch, if you will, on this one. Question, though. Golden Glove. I think Rio was talking about Pena. Pena is freaking amazing. I mean, what a time to be alive for Pena, man. Look, this guy – He's producing. He's getting you runs. He's getting you multi-hit games in the playoffs. He's up for a Golden Glove a Golden Glove award. Oddly enough, he's going against his successor in Carlos Correa, and he's also going against Xander Bogaerts. Now, I think Bogaerts, as great as he is, he's out of the mix. I think that Gold Glove is going to come down to either Pena or Correa. I'd love to see Pena in his rookie season get the Gold Glove. I mean, how special would that be? And I think he deserves it. But again, we all know how good Carlos Correa is, and I can't take enough away from him. Who do you think gets the Golden Glove at shortstop in the AL? Pena, Correa, or Bogaerts?
I think Correa is probably going to get it. I'd like to see Pena get it because I couldn't even tell you who would be the last rookie like that to get to win a Golden Glove. You know what I mean? That'd be an interesting stat. Frankie says Yankees have 5 players up for Golden Glove. I think 2 of them shouldn't be in it.
Yeah.
DJ
I agree with Frankie.
I don't know how they vote.
I think LeMahieu and Ben Tindy should not be there, but hey, it is what it is, man. Hey, at the end of the day, man, it's interesting to me because I thought it was kind of funny that Carlos Correa left the Stros for the Twins out of the playoffs, commentating on the Astros game. I wonder if he wishes he would have stayed in Houston rather than going to the Twins, because then he'd be possibly going to another World Series.
Well, any opting out of his option as well with the Twins, so he's going to
touch free agency.
He's going to go. He might go get paid again.
What a time to be alive, man. Jeez, man. But I'll tell you what, honestly, at first I was really kind of upset that Correa was leaving because, I love Correa. Honestly, I really do love Correa. But the way that Pena has stepped in as his successor just makes me think, you know what? Sometimes things happen for a reason. And Pena is just such an enjoyment to watch play the game of baseball. And they're all clicking so well, man. It's just incredible. It's incredible to watch, man. It really is. Just incredible.
Yeah, he's been on fire. I think who you think is going to get it? You think they'll give it to Pena, or you think it's going to be Correa?
I said it before, man. I think it's a split decision. I think honestly, both those guys are equally deserving. Correa could possibly pull it in just because he has more experience. I don't know if they're going to want to give it to a rookie, but if they give it to Correa, I wouldn't be upset. But honestly, I'd love to see Pena get it. I think Pena's defense, especially when you watch a lot of the plays that he makes and how long he throws some of those balls and what he does with the backhand when he scoops it and then switches over to his other hand, it's just incredible to watch him play, man. And I'd love to see Pena get it. I think he deserves it. But again, if they give it to Correa, I'm not gonna protest it because Correa is a really defensive-minded guy. So I can see him getting it.
In the last 30 years, there's been 5 rookies to win a Golden Glove.
I want him to be alive. I'd love to see Pena get that.
That's five rookies have won the award in the last 30 seasons. Robert Arenado, Ichiro Suzuki, Charles Johnson in 1995, and Sandy Alomar Jr. in 1990.
Man, Sandy Alomar Jr., man, that's a hell of a player, boy. That'd be good company.
And before then, you have to go all the way back to the 1960s and 70s for any rookies that had won a Golden Glove award.
You know, I'll tell you who else should also get a Golden Glove award, and it's not just because, you know, he's on our team, but if you look at the way Tucker plays right field, he's number one in his position in right field in hits and things of that nature, defensively even. And I think Tucker is often overlooked and underrated. I think he deserves it. As a matter of fact, even if you watched last night, when Judge hit that long ball, you know, if he doesn't, he literally caught it at the wall. Like his glove was on top of the wall, touching the wall when the ball went in. If he's not there to make that catch, that's a home run. So literally, you know, and this is not the first time I've seen I've seen Tucker make those types of catches. And I think a lot of times his defense is really overlooked. And I'd like to see Tucker get a Gold Glove. I think he deserves it. And Frankie knows because Frankie was hoping that ball was going to go over.
Yeah, Frankie said he thinks Bregman should be a Gold Glove for the Astros.
Yeah, Bregman's another one, man. I'm telling you, the Astros are really, honestly, if you look at the Astros team, really, honestly, defensively, we're probably one of the best infields there is. Now, to Frankie's point, the one weakness that the Astros do have is defensively is when they have Alvarez play left field. And I think we all agree with that. But how do you take him out? You know, personally, I'd rather see Litmus Diaz as playing the outfield and have Alvarez as our DH. For some reason, they're wanting to put him out there. I don't think you have to necessarily put him out there. I think he's a defensive liability. I'd rather see Diaz play that position than him. That's just my thought process. But I think he should definitely be DH instead.
Same thing Frankie says, DH him.
Yeah, and honestly, can we just talk for a minute about Alvarez, though, on honestly his hitting? I mean, like this guy, if he's not Big Papi reincarnated, I don't know who is. I mean, this dude literally, when he goes to the plate, you know, he's a home run just waiting to happen. I mean, literally just waiting to happen. And he's clutch as all hell, man. Even last night, when he didn't get the home run, he still got the base hit and got on base. I think Alvarez is probably going to be the X factor. If we do meet up with the Padres, I think Alvarez will be that X factor. I think Alvarez and Pena will be.
I mean, Alvarez was really the X factor in that series against the Mariners. Especially the first 2 games.
I hate to say bench Altuve, but Frankie, you're right, man. At this point, if he's struggling like this, you know, God, man, I don't know how you don't. I think maybe you could put a Litmus Diaz, or you can put Gary, you can put somebody at second base. They have a couple other infielders they can play at second if they have to. that I think will give you more than what Altuve is giving you right now, honestly.
What do you think? What do you think's Altuve's problem? You think he's just pressing, or
I don't know what his problem is. He typically, you know what? Without, I don't know, man. I think sometimes hitters just get into slumps.
he's usually a guy that plays good in the playoffs. I mean, he's had some big moments in the playoffs for you guys, but not this year.
I don't know. I don't know if it's a mechanics thing with him or what, but there's definitely something going on with Altuve. I mean, he's making contact. I mean, but it's just, yeah, man. I think there's definitely something going on there. And if I'm Dusty, I'm probably talking with the hitting coach, and I'm probably having a meeting with Altuve to try to figure out maybe what the issue is. And then Friday, if I'm with Altuve Friday, we're doing some batting practice to try to figure out what's going on with him to see if we can, work this situation out. Because even if the Astros survive the Yankees with Altuve in a slump, I don't know how well that's going to turn out against the Padres or Phillies, whoever we face. Again, though, I will say this for Altuve: even though he's in a slump, he is really good on the defensive side of second base. So it's almost kind of like, do I cut off my nose to spite my face? You know what I'm saying? Because defensively, he's great. So can the other hitters, keep us going? Which, if you look at that, that's exactly what's happening. Even though Altuve's in a funk, McCormick, Pena, Alvarez, Bregman, the list goes on. It's in Gurriel, especially. If you're not seeing how good Gurriel is playing right now, you're not watching baseball. Gurriel is just playing out of his mind. And I think the Astros, truthfully, Gonzo, in my opinion, even though Altuve is struggling, they kind of need him defensively at that second base spot. And I think they can kind of overcompensate for his deficiencies at the plate, with all the rest of the hitters that they have. So it's a double-edged sword. Do you take him out and maybe have a hole now defensively? Dust is going to have to weigh that in consideration.
Frankie said, "Can you be nice and talk about the play by Gleyber Torres?"
Yeah, I was just about to get to that because I was going to tie that in with Altuve. Altuve, man, he hit a bullet. If you didn't see the bullet that he hit, it was a damn bullet. And I got to tell you, Gleyber Torres, Jesus, man, the dude got the ball. He's on his back, flips it up to Cabrera, the shortstop. Cabrera gets the bag, gets a double play. I mean, honestly, and I told Frankie, man, that was an amazing, beautiful play, man. Honestly, I don't think you could play that any better. So hats off to Gleyber Torres for making that snag and then having the wherewithal to, off of his back, get the flip up to Cabrera, man. That was a hell of a play.
Oh, yeah, it was. It was a hell of a play. There ain't many guys that can make that play, I'll tell you that. And especially to make it where you can get a double play as well. In your opinion, where does this year's playoffs rank so far, maybe compared to some of the ones in the last few years, recent years? I think it's been a pretty good playoffs. There's been a lot of close games. There hasn't been a lot of blowouts. Most of the games have been close. A lot of them's come down to the last inning. I mean, hell, we had a 18-inning game or something like that. How many innings did that game end up going? Did it go 18?
Yeah, it went 18. I think this year is man, it's amazing. I mean, the teams are stepping up defensively. They're stepping up pitching wise, coaching. Definitely one of the tougher ALDSs that we've gone through. And even though right now we're currently 2-0 up on the Yankees aren't playing bad. It's just we've got one more hit than them or one more play than them, but they're not far behind us either. So the Yankees are playing us tough. We knew the Yankees were going to play us tough. You have to give that. It is for what it is. But at the same time, I think on the NLCS side, they're just as tough over there as well. I think, when you look at this Phillies and Padres, what a hell of a series they're going through. So I think on both sides of, the plate, both leagues are playing extremely tough ball, and we're going to have a really good quality World Series, no matter who gets there, it's going to be a quality World Series. I guarantee you.
I just saw that Altuve is on the longest hitless streak in postseason history, 0-23.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, this isn't typical Altuve right now.
No.
There's something going on with Altuve. There's something going on with Altuve that's either not being disclosed or, there's just something not right because this is not typical Altuve play. He's never played like this before. So, yeah, there's definitely something going on with that. I get it. We are playing 3 in the Bronx. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to tell you right now, though, Frankie, all I got to do is take 1 out of the 3. Just give me 1 out of the 3. And by the way, you will see Verlander game 4. Even if you get past McCullers and Javier in game 3, come game 4, if we go up 3-1, which I fully expect us to do, yeah, good luck trying to come back on that one. What a time to be alive.
I can't wait. I'm ready to see the games. See, you guys don't play till tomorrow, so in game 4 it'll probably be Nestor Cortez against Verlander. That'd be a good pitching matchup.
You're not lying, Jesus! The stash against the Cy Young. Holy crap! And again, this game is going to come down to bullpens. And it goes back to what you said, Gonzo. You couldn't have said it any better. If the Yankees want a chance against the Astros, they've got to jump on us early. If they don't, and we get to their bullpen, it's game over. So, yeah, again, the trick for them is going to be to get on us early. They're going to have to if they want a shot at getting back into this series. What a time to be alive.
And I also think with the Astros tomorrow that they need to jump on Garrett Cole early.
Absolutely.
Once if he gets settled in, man. Whew.
And again, man, we've seen Garrett Cole. You know what? The thing with Garrett Cole, though, is he was more dominant the last year with Houston and the first year with New York. That's when he was at his most dominant. I'm not saying that he's bad or anything, but Cole has taken a step back a little bit on his quality of pitch. I mean, he's not as dominant as he was when he first got to New York. And I don't know if that big contract is what swayed him a little bit. But if you look at Garrett Cole, his best years, dominance-wise, was with the Astros. And I think it just shows to you that the Astros have a quality pitching staff. They have a quality developmental team, and they can transform pitchers. If you look at Verlander, look how well Verlander's doing, man. I mean, honestly, and I think a lot of it has to do with Maldonado. I think Maldonado does not get enough credit for how he calls games as what he should. If you look at any pitcher that's ever pitched with Maldonado, they'll all tell you that guy is just amazing. Even Verlander will tell you his Cy Young is probably as much dedicated or owned up by Maldi than it is Verlander. And I think Cole will tell you the same thing because when both of those guys pitch with Maldonado, they've never been more dominant than they were then. It's crazy. I'm telling you, Maldi, now he is an offensive liability because he doesn't get as many hits, but
he's not great offensively, but he's defensively, dude. He's one of the best defensive catchers that's probably out there. He's real good behind the plate. But you're right. He does struggle offensively.
But that's why we throw his ass at the very end of the lineup.
Frankie said no, it has to do with Verlander having a robotic elbow after Tommy John.
Hey, listen. Hey,
that's
really
true.
Is. I mean, that Tommy John, dang.
People come back throwing the ball harder after Tommy John now these days.
But you know what? But honestly, though, Verlander was dominant before Tommy John, so I don't know.
But but I'm just saying, though, you see a lot of pitchers.
No, I agree. No, hell, man, there's people out there talking about having Tommy John just for the sake of having Tommy John. Oh, they don't even need it, but they're doing it.
Dude, there's parents that try to find doctors that'll give their high school kids Tommy John that don't even need it because people are coming back better from it.
Do you really think, Gonzo? Do you really think that's a smart thing to do, though?
No, I don't think it's a smart thing to do. I think it's pretty stupid myself because anytime you have any kind of surgery, there's a risk.
Oh, absolutely.
So I don't think it's smart, but there's people that do. parents have done that, man. I've read a story about it, and I'm like, dude, this is crazy.
Yeah. There was a pitcher that came out of my high school back in the day. His name was Brian Bohannon. He had a 104-mile-an-hour fastball as a high schooler, and he wound up picking up with the Rangers. He wound up throwing his arm out. They didn't have Tommy John back then, but he was able to regenerate his arm. He wound up pitching for the Rockies, the Mets, and I think one other team. He had a really good career, but I wonder if they would have had Tommy John back in his day, how much longer his career would have gone on. But this guy, Gonzo, I've never seen a guy that's a junior in high school throwing 104 miles an hour. It was crazy. It was a crazy thing to watch. I'll be honest with you.
Well, you remember a pitcher named Richie Lewis? Remember Richie Lewis pitched for the Marlins back in the day?
Lewis sounds familiar to me. Yeah.
He went to the same high school as me. He was old, of course, he was older than I was, but his dad was the coach at Southside High School for years. But he had a pretty good career there in Major League Baseball, and he played for the Marlins. But he was one of the hardest throwing guys I'd got to see in person, like being right up there and seeing it. But Frankie said they have 3 pitchers getting Tommy John. He can't wait.
Yeah, I saw that too. Maybe that might be the right thing for those guys. Holy crap! I mean, you never know. I mean, damn. But and again, I wonder. Yeah, I don't understand what this Tommy John. I know it has to do with your elbow. I know that, and I think it's the UCL or something that they reattach or something. But it's just crazy to me that you can actually be better when you actually detach something that was attached. To me, that blows my mind.
Yeah, they must tighten up some tendons or something in there when they put it all back together, because you see a lot more guys have success after it than not these days. And back in the day, Tommy John was basically a career ender back years ago in baseball. I mean, pitcher got Tommy John, a lot of times you never heard anything about him again. Now you get Tommy John, they might come back better. It's
oh man,
it's just crazy how much we're technology has advanced and stuff like that.
Oh man, hey, listen, you're not lying. Let me ask you another question too. And of course, we have not seen even Stanek out of our bullpen. In my opinion, Stanek is one of our best relievers. But if you think about it, so we're going to have Verlander, Framber Valdez pitch again in that 3 games in New York. My question for you, Gonzo, is: can Astros end the ALCS in New York and come back?
Oh man, I mean, there's a chance they could, but I think these next 2 games are going to be the key, because the Yankees are going to have their aces on the mound now, since they had used them in the series before. So I think this is going. I don't think they will. I think this is going to go at least 6 games. I'm hoping it goes all 7. All 7 myself, just the baseball fan in me. I think the series is going to go 6 games at least. And honestly, I'm hoping to go 7, because I picked the Yankees to win, or to be in the World Series and win it. So I need the Yankees to make a comeback here. But
what's interesting to me though, Gonzo, I get a lot of things that came in on my Facebook feed from a lot of other different podcasters. I'm not going to throw no names out there: Chris, Jose, LeBron, and Frankie, and Jonathan Matheson and company. But it amazes me because they come before the game's over with, and they'll be out there saying things like, because I put one out there. I said, "Hey, for all you Astros haters out there,"
you said Chris. I put nothing in your. I sent you nothing on Facebook or anything.
Oh, I said Chris, Jose, LeBron.
Oh,
I didn't say Gonzalez. Damn, don't you know your own name? Shit.
I was like, wait a minute.
But they're out there chirping.
You're killing me, dude.
Hey, they're out there chirping, man. Because his name was Stop.
Look, he became Rookie of the Year.
No, but they're out there chirping.
Gardner.
I feel like the Astros just don't get the respect that they deserve. I mean, they're out there chirping about the Yankees this and the Yankees that and the Yankees this, and they're down 2-0. Why are you chirping when you're down 2-0? I'm just saying, man. Why can't the Astros just get some love?
Let me ask you
I get it, the whole cheating thing in 17. If you want to hold that against the Astros, go ahead. But if you look at the damn team, that's not even the same team. You're hating a team full of players and managers and GMs that had nothing to even do with that anymore. Come on, you better. And by the way, how good are we to go through a scandal, lose our pitcher, lose our manager, lose our head coach, rebuild our entire pitching rotation, and never once not make it back in the playoffs? What a time to be alive. Let us think in how good the Astros organization is to go through what they went through and still maintain competitive teams from day one to day here. The Yankees go out and spend billions of dollars and can't do a damn thing or a pot to piss in. Let that sink in for a minute. What a time to be alive.
Real quick, before we get out of here, do you think that if the Astros do win the World Series, do you think that that narrative will change?
I hope so. If it doesn't change, then that means whoever is saying those kinds of things just don't want to accept the fact that we won another championship and they just want to hold 17 against us regardless. And if that does happen, then you have to start questioning the validity of that person as a podcaster or that person as, a commentator or whatever. You got to start questioning the legitimacy of what they're saying and who they are if you can't accept the fact that we won another World Series.
All right. Yeah, no, I agree. I think if they win a World Series, I don't know if it'll all go away, but I think the narrative will start to change because I don't think anybody's going to think that this team has anything like that going on. So I think the narrative will start to change.
You think Dusty Baker would let something like that happen? Dusty Baker's not.
Yeah,
that's
what I'm saying. I don't think anything's like that is happening. So I think the narrative will start to change. I don't know if it'll all go away. I don't know if it'll all go away just because. I don't know if it'll all go away just because you know how people are.
Yeah, man, they're going to hold on. They're always going to be the haters out there. Frankies of the world, Chris Jose LeBrons of the world, they're going to be out there. But you know what? It's okay. I will say this. The Astros did a hell of a good job bringing in Dusty Baker. I think he was the best one to restore the legitimacy back to the Astros. And I just want to give the Astros ownership major kudos for bringing him in. He was the right guy for the job. He's the right guy to restore the legitimacy of our franchise. Houston is not that type of team. You got to understand these were individuals that did what they did, but they don't represent Houston. Houston is not a cheating organization. We're not a cheating franchise. We just had the wrong guys at the helm, and we rectified that. We got rid of them. We didn't have to get rid of Leno. We didn't have to get rid of A.J. Hinch. We could have kept them, survived, did a little whatever. But as you can see, we cleaned house, and we're about winning the right way. Man, just keep that in mind going forward, man.
All right. You have any final thoughts before we get out of here this morning?
Yeah, I have just one final thought. Padres, Phillies tonight. We're going to get some really good baseball. So it's going to be fun to watch. And check me and Gonzo out. I think Greg Broderick said he's going to be on the afternoon show at 1 o'clock. We're going to bring it. We're going to have a good time talking some sports, man. I can't wait, Gonzo.
Oh yeah, I'm ready for that. Got a lot going on. A big trade in the NFL late last night, as everybody was getting ready to go to bed. Well, a lot of people getting ready to go to bed, unless you're me that can't sleep, but because I fall asleep during the damn day because of my medicine. But anyway, excuse me. Go hit that subscribe button on YouTube at GonzoSportsRoom and at the All Sports All Plays network. We greatly appreciate it. Don't forget, go check out Unscripted. Tuesdays and Thursdays, 7 p.m. Eastern, Saturdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, but there is no show this Saturday, right, Jay?
Yeah, this Saturday there won't be a show. Logan Lander's got a job at the radio station, so he's looking for an apartment, and so he's taking a sabbatical, and I've got to take care of a thing with the wife, or she's going to kill me if I don't. So yeah, Saturday no show, but we will be back Tuesday, bigger and better than ever. And Gonzo, one last thing, I just want to throw a quick shout out. Hey, ladies. Gonzo's single, and and he's ready to mingle. If you want a guy that has a great personality and a hell of a good beard, Gonzo's your guy. Let that sink in for a minute. Gonzo's single and ready to mingle. Let's hook up Gonzo. Let's get some women coming his way. Let's go, baby.
Damn it, Jay. I want to thank everybody for watching. Like I said, don't forget, hit that subscribe button, YouTube, follow us, Facebook, Twitch, Instagram, all at GonzoSportsRoom and at the All Sports All Plays. Don't if you're still wanting to watch sports, go check out ASAP in the morning. It'll be starting, should be starting just about right now. You can on the All Sports All Plays network. Craig and Ray do a good job over there. Go check them out. Like Jay said, we'll be on at 1 p.m. Eastern with the ASAP Afternoon Blitz. So come check me and Jay out for that. And I think Greg's going to join. But we thank everybody for watching. Around the Bases, I'll be back Monday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern to recap all the action in the ALCS and the NLCS over the weekend. So everybody have a great weekend. Stay safe. If you drink, don't drive. And we will see you guys Monday morning at 9.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. We talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all